Hey everyone, we are at the Expo Hall right now at Team 24 in Barcelona, and we're so excited. We are here with Tempo. So thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
Do you mind giving us a little idea about who you are and your company as a whole?
Yeah, my name is Daniel Duffield. I'm a senior solutions engineer from Tempo. What we do is a whole lot of strategic portfolio management solutions, but a lot of that is very, we'll say modularized so that you can utilize it at any level. If you have a need for a portfolio management, that's good. But if you also have needs for things like just organization of the work within the product itself, or timekeeping or capacity planning or anything like that, we have modules for that. But all of them all do integrate with each other, so they do talk to the larger stack as a whole.
Very cool. And I know we're going to actually be talking about one of your apps today. Do you mind giving us a little idea of that?
Absolutely. When people think of Tempo, the first thing they think of usually is Timesheets, because that's one of the older players in the whole market. And with that, it is a baseline access point for a lot of people. Timesheets originated forever ago when people that were much smarter than me actually saw that there was a need for being able to visualize the data that was on a lot of these Jira issues from the personal point of view of the person, right? So they took and repivoted the data, so you're seeing the work log again from the person's point of view rather than from the point of view of the work. And that actually gave it a lot more visibility as to what people were doing and gave a timekeeping piece of software within Tempo itself, or within Jira itself.
Awesome. I know you kind of touched on some of the features there, but do you have a favorite feature about Timesheets?
The integration with calendars, because one of the things that people worry about probably the most is that their timesheet will be used against them. And with that calendar integration, all the things like the meetings and everything like that, that's kind of the hidden aspects of everyday life, those get brought to the surface and integrated with the timesheet itself and can be directly connected to a Jira issue, so you're logging time against that. And so in a lot of places, not that, people may not see that as a big deal, but with regards to like daily stand-ups and that kind of thing, everybody's supposed to be 15 minutes by the book, but it rarely ever is.
Yeah.
So when we bring in something like this that says, okay, the person logged the time against this on a daily basis, and we're seeing that instead of the 15-minute stand-up, we're having closer to 30, 45, or even hour-long stand-ups, then the developer, whoever's doing the work and logging the work, feels protected, and therefore they can actually, they actually feel a little bit shielded by timesheets. So we go the opposite direction for a lot of that.
That makes complete sense. Do you mind showing us a little bit hands-on demo of what this looks like?
Absolutely. So we have a lot of things that are going on right here. And from the very beginning, you can see we actually have a pre-filled timesheet, which is one of the great things about it. Because with regards to a lot of timesheets, if you have a manual timesheet, one of the things that you worry about is when that timesheet gets filled out. And I can tell you from the previous days, my dark past, is when you have to fill out a timesheet on a weekly basis. Most of the time, you're doing that at 4:45 on a Friday. Not
Guilty of that.
exactly. So the accuracy for Monday becomes very suspect at that point. And so when you have it pre-filled out, it really gives a little bit of credibility to everything that you're doing from the very beginning. One of the things you can see right here is we already do have a daily stand-up issue for each day that's associated with that time the daily stand-up is going down. Now, it's not associated with the Jira issue yet, but it really makes it easy to associate with the Jira issue because you can go in there and directly search for that issue itself. But as you can see from some of these other things that came from the calendar integration, it does have a Jira issue associated with it, so you can actually directly log this. So all I have to do is hit that check mark, and that time is logged on a daily basis. This takes the planning aspect away from the developer, whoever's doing the work. And a lot of times, if you have a project manager or program manager that's associating, that's doling out the time, then this makes it easier for that person itself. As well, we also have integrations with Capacity Planner that are bringing those stories that the person has to work to into that daily focus, so that again, the developer does not have to actually go and search for the story itself. Everything is allocated to them on that daily basis. So it really makes it, the cloud platform actually makes that very, very handy for all of this. So
And time saving, it sounds like.
Absolutely. The other thing that makes it a lot easier is the ability to associate the issues that you need to pull with yourself as well. So we have the quick issue picker over here that you can customize for anything you want. So we do have 5 that come out of the box in terms of filters: assigned issues, recent issues, favorite, internal, and watched issues. But you can also set the ones you want. So I actually applied a Jira filter here for the Android empty work log, as well as a project, just the Android project itself. So I can drag and drop those issues with ease over to any point in it. And as well, one of the things that's a classic kind of staple with anything on in within timesheets is the ability to actually change your time based on just drag and drop functionality.
Oh, wow.
So this is we make it very easy. And I like to use the grandparent test, right? And I could teach my grandparents to use this with ease, and it wouldn't be overwhelming for them. And then of course the other great aspect that comes out of this is the reporting. So when you go to the reporting pages, you can associate any kind of report with anything that you like. So we have the ability to filter by projects, teams, roles, accounts, account categories, and so when you're doing this, you can actually see that visualization of capitalized expenses versus operational expenses, capitalized time versus operational time. But you can go all the way to JQL, which for people who have lived in the Atlassian ecosystem for years, like myself, that's kind of how we think anyways. So as well, that being able to group things by anything you want actually can provide a lot of insight for this. So one of the things I want to point out is we have the initiative and work stream at the top, epic, issue, and subtask, and what we have here is a roll-up, because we can associate with this with the Jira plans roll-ups as well. And what this allows us to do is then when we create the reports, you can actually see the roll-up of time for the report going from that subtask to the task or story up to the epic and then up to the and so you can see how that carries across. So we have the 3 here, it rolls up to the 3 here, but we also have the additive function. So we have time logged against both of these tasks is 0.75 hours and 1.75 hours, and it's additive to the epic itself. So if we had an issue above that, it would actually be additive to that too.
Very neat.
So yeah, a lot of different features, a lot of functionality, a lot of stuff that's under the hood that people don't commonly use, but it does make the timekeeping a lot easier. And for a person that was a prior project and program manager like myself, makes it a lot easier to actually gain that visibility too. So.
Absolutely, I'm excited about this personally. So thank you so much for sharing, and it's a pleasure having you here today.
Absolutely, thank you very much for having me.
Awesome,
right.
thanks. Enjoy.
Thank you.